for each other, and that's our connection. And we're so connected that way, and that doesn't mean it's great all the time. We have hard conversations, we have tears, we have disagreements. That's actually normal in a relationship, isn't it? Like, it's normal to have disagreements. It's normal to be frustrated with each other. It's normal, like, that's a part of it. Conflict's a part of it. And so we work through it together, and we're willing to sit in.
Wait, stop everything. Team USA just made a decision so brutal that legends were cut like rookies, and one name changed the entire power system. Caitlin Clark. This wasn't a normal roster update. This wasn't rotation talk. This was a message. A message that said your legacy doesn't matter anymore. Late night, phones buzzing, leaks everywhere. Coach Kara Lawson confirms it. 5 players cut from Team USA's 2026 pool. No warning, no farewell tour, just gone. Chelsea Gray, once untouchable, now expendable. Brittney Griner, a global icon, cut. Veteran loyalty, dead. Olympic medals didn't save anyone. And here's the part that's making the WNBA community lose their minds. This wasn't disrespect. This was strategy. Team USA finally admitted something dangerous. The world has caught up. If you believe the story behind the story matters, smash that like button. It tells us we're on the right track. Because what happened behind closed doors explains everything about where women's basketball is heading, and it's not what anyone expected. International basketball is faster now, smarter, and there's no fear anymore. For years, Team USA ran on reputation alone. Roll up with names like Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, Brittney Griner, and teams would fold before tip-off. That era is over. France pushed them in the Olympics. Australia's developing shooters who can stretch the floor. Spain's running offenses that require constant defensive communication. The game has evolved, and Team USA's old formula doesn't work anymore, so they went looking for speed, shooting, spacing, and basketball IQ. And that's when everything changed. Caitlin Clark wasn't just added to the roster. She became the center of the entire system. Her shooting stretches defenses to breaking points. Her vision breaks defensive schemes before they can even set. Her gravity alone changes how teams have to play. She didn't replace individual players. She replaced an entire era of how Team USA approaches international competition. Many of you have been saying this for weeks in the comments. You saw the writing on the wall when Clark's rookie season ended. The question wasn't if she'd make Team USA. The question was how much of the team would be built around her philosophy of basketball.
A point being scored or assisted by Caitlin Clark in a 4.5 minute spell to make a game to go from down 5 to up 13. Like that, well, basically it was down 15 to up 10 against Phoenix Mercury last year, where every single basket other than one was either scored or assisted by Caitlin Clark in what was the craziest game of her career. Where it's funny, if you look back on that game, I think she had 15 points and 13 assists and on 4 of 15 shooting, and people were just like, oh.
That's the Caitlin Clark effect. A 4.5 minute stretch where nearly every single point was either scored or set up by her. That's not just talent. That's the kind of basketball IQ and offensive gravity that international teams can't prepare for. And Team USA's coaching staff saw that and realized something crucial. The old guard, as legendary as they are, can't generate that kind of modern offensive chaos. Chelsea Gray is brilliant. She's a maestro in the half court, one of the smartest point guards to ever play the game. But her game requires slowing things down, controlling pace, methodical execution. That's not the modern international game anymore. Teams are running now. They're pushing in transition. They're hunting mismatches at full speed. Brittney Griner is dominant in the paint, an absolute force when she gets position. But international teams have adapted. They're playing smaller, faster, spreading the floor. They're making the game about quickness and three-point shooting, not about post dominance. Griner's skill set, as elite as it is, doesn't match what Team USA needs to counter the way the rest of the world now plays. Let's filter out the noise here. This isn't about disrespecting legends. This isn't about saying Chelsea Gray or Brittney Griner can't play at a high level. It's about Team USA asking themselves a terrifying question. What if our legacy players are actually the problem? What if holding on to the past is what's going to cost us gold medals? And once they asked that question honestly, the answer became unavoidable. The future of Team USA basketball looks like Caitlin Clark, fast, fearless, willing to shoot from anywhere, capable of running an offense at a pace that exhausts opponents. That's the blueprint now. Fans went absolutely crazy when the news broke. Some were angry, calling it disrespectful to veterans who gave everything to the program. Some were shocked that Team USA would make cuts this significant without any public ceremony or acknowledgement. And some were cheering, saying it's about time the program prioritized winning over sentiment. But here's the thing everyone agrees on. Team USA picked the future, not the past. There was no press conference, no dramatic announcement, just one sentence behind closed doors. We're building for 2028. And Caitlin Clark fits that future perfectly. This wasn't about popularity. It wasn't about jersey sales or TV ratings. This was basketball reality. The game has changed, and Team USA finally accepted they need to change with it. International teams don't care about your Olympic resume anymore. They care about whether they can exploit your weaknesses, and the weaknesses in Team USA's traditional approach were becoming too obvious to ignore. You were onto something when you noticed how different Clark's game is from previous Team USA guards. She's not trying to be Sue Bird, and she's not trying to replicate what worked a decade ago. She's forcing Team USA to play a style of basketball that fits the modern game, and that required clearing out players whose games don't align with that vision. The player comparisons tell the story. Chelsea Gray is an exceptional playmaker, but her passing style is traditional, methodical. Caitlin Clark gets the ball to teammates in ways that create immediate advantages. She's not just finding open players, she's creating openings that didn't exist a second earlier. That's a different level of facilitating, and it's what Team USA needs when facing defenses that are increasingly sophisticated. Reading between the lines, this decision wasn't made lightly. Team USA's coaching staff had to weigh loyalty against effectiveness. They had to consider the backlash. They had to know that cutting Olympic medalists would create controversy, but they did it anyway, which tells you how serious they are about staying dominant on the international stage. The cuts weren't the end of the story. They were just the beginning, because once you close the door on legends, there's no going back. The pressure on this new era is immense. If Team USA wins gold with this new approach, the decision looks brilliant. If they stumble, every single cut will be second-guessed for years. Behind closed doors, the mood shifted immediately. Young players felt opportunity opening up. Veterans felt the weight of replacement. This wasn't personal. This was evolution happening in real time. And Caitlin Clark didn't celebrate. She didn't make any public statements. She just showed up and worked. And every single practice confirmed the decision that coaching staff had made. The offense flows better with her orchestrating it. The spacing is cleaner, the ball movement is faster. Everything Team USA needed to modernize their approach was already happening naturally with Clark running the show. Connecting the dots reveals something fascinating. This isn't just about one player being added, it's about Team USA acknowledging that international basketball has fundamentally changed, and their response had to be equally fundamental. France isn't intimidated anymore. Australia has shooters who can go toe-to-toe with anyone. Spain runs offenses that require constant adjustment. The days of Team USA winning on talent alone are over. So what does this mean for the players who were cut? If you're Chelsea Gray or Brittney Griner, how do you process being told your services are no longer needed by a program you helped build? That's the human cost of these decisions that doesn't get talked about enough. Drop a comment right now. Do you think Team USA made the right call? Or did they cross a line by cutting Olympic legends without more ceremony? Because this conversation is splitting the basketball community right down the middle, and your perspective matters. Kara Lawson didn't blink when making these decisions. Her vision for Team USA is crystal clear. Fast breaks, deep shooting, positionless basketball. Caitlin Clark isn't a star being added to an existing system. She is the engine that the entire system is being rebuilt around. This hurt fans because heroes don't fade gently in sports. They get replaced, usually suddenly and usually by someone who represents everything different about the next generation. Team USA finally accepted that truth, and they acted on it without apology. The international landscape forced their hand. France took Team USA to the wire in recent competitions. Australia's guard play is getting scary good. Spain has size and shooting that can punish traditional American approaches. These teams aren't scared anymore. They've studied Team USA's weaknesses. They know the old formula, and Team USA needed to change or risk losing their dominance forever. Here's what many people are missing. Hard choices create strong teams. Soft choices protect egos and lead to losses that haunt programs for years. Team USA chose strength. They chose the future. They chose to be uncomfortable now rather than embarrassed later on the world stage. The initial reaction was rage from some corners. How dare they disrespect veterans? But then came reflection, because winning international gold medals now requires the exact skill set that Caitlin Clark brings. The shooting, the court vision, the ability to create offense at pace, the adaptability to different defensive schemes. She checks every single box that modern international basketball requires. This team isn't about names anymore. It's about fit. It's about building a coherent system that can beat teams that are actively trying to dethrone American dominance. Sentiment doesn't win gold medals. Strategy does.
That all the players play well, but France are just a little bit better in the World Cup. I'm not going to hate watch Team USA, but I do hope that the other teams they're playing are just better. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, if you are actually supporting Team USA, you would hope the two of them play together, because the two of Paige and Caitlin play together, because that's what's going to help them win. And is Caitlin going to be the best player at this camp? If Caitlin's the best player at this camp, there's something seriously wrong with the level of women's basketball. Like, if a player who has basically been injured for a year shows up and is the best player at their first training camp, because let's be real, you're not going to, if a player's, it takes players weeks.
That's the reality check. If Caitlin Clark shows up to her first Team USA camp after missing significant time and she's still the best player there, what does that say about the level of competition? What does that say about whether the other players in the pool are actually prepared for international basketball at the highest level? The skepticism isn't about Caitlin Clark's abilities. It's about whether Team USA has surrounded her with the right supporting cast. Because if the veterans who were cut can't keep up with the modern game, and the young players haven't developed enough yet, Team USA could be in a transitional period that's more vulnerable than anyone wants to admit. Most fans want adversity to resolve quickly. We want our teams to face a challenge, overcome it in a satisfying arc, and move on. But this situation with Team USA is going to be uncomfortable for a while. This is what real organizational change looks like. You don't get to control how long the adversity lasts. You only get to control your attitude, your focus, and whether you're willing to work through the discomfort to reach the other side. And for the first time in years, Team USA looks genuinely modern. Their roster philosophy matches how elite international basketball is actually played now. This wasn't an anti-veteran decision. This was a pro-future decision. Caitlin Clark didn't take anyone's spot through politics or favoritism. She changed the entire system by being so good at the style of basketball that Team USA needs that keeping the old approach became indefensible. The pressure on this new era is absolutely massive. Every game will be scrutinized. Every loss will bring questions about whether they should have kept the veterans. Every time France or Australia or Spain makes a run, people will wonder if Team USA made a catastrophic mistake. But here's what the coaching staff knows that casual fans might not fully appreciate yet. The window for dominance in international basketball is closing, if you don't adapt. Other countries have caught up in development, in coaching, in tactical sophistication. The gap that used to exist isn't there anymore. And Team USA's choice was clear. Adapt now, or fall behind, and spend years trying to catch back up. Caitlin Clark represents that adaptation. Her game is built for the modern era. Three-point shooting that forces defenses to extend, court vision that punishes any defensive mistake, pace that wears opponents down, basketball IQ that allows her to adjust to anything opponents throw at her. That's not just talent. That's the exact profile Team USA needs to stay dominant. Team USA closed one chapter of their history and opened a dangerous new one. The world is watching every move. International teams are studying every decision. The pressure is real, and it's only going to intensify as we get closer to 2028. Did Team USA make the right call? Did they disrespect legends? Or did they make the hard choice that championship programs have to make? The answer might not be clear for years, but one thing is certain. They've committed to this direction, and there's no going back now. If you want to stay ahead of where this story goes next, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because the fallout from these cuts is just beginning. International teams are preparing their responses. Cut veterans are processing what this means for their legacies. And Caitlin Clark is stepping into the most pressure-packed role in women's basketball. Next video, we're breaking down exactly how international teams are going to attack this new Team USA roster and the weaknesses they've already identified that nobody's talking about yet. You're not going to want to miss that. This era has just begun, and it's going to be one hell of a ride. I'll see you in the next one.